Welcome back to Harriet's Above Ground YouTube channel. My name is Anthony Ross, and I am the CEO and president of the Harriet Tubman Ross Foundation. The purpose of this channel is to take the viewer or listener through a journey through the true history of slavery from the beginning to present. Also, to increase the viewer or listener's knowledge and understanding of systemic racism. In the description below, there is a link to the Harriet Tubman Ross Foundation. I would encourage you to click the link and visit the foundation. So this is our video series, History of Black Africans and Slavery. And this is also the section of the video series that focuses on key documents, laws, speeches, or just additional documents that bring clarity and insight to the first 9 videos in the series. So with that, I'm going to start and ask the same 3 questions that I always do. And the first question is, why was this group targeted to be enslaved worldwide? And why were they made to continue to suffer? Why did the rest of the world accept this behavior? Governments, rulers, and religions. And lastly, why don't people realize the present day effects on these people? So with that, we'll get into today's video. And today's video is going to be a reading of George Washington's last will and testament. And of course, George Washington was our first president. And he, in his will, freed his slaves, and this was 1799. So, during the 18th century, Negro slavery was a firmly entrenched institution of American life, particularly in the South, where it was justified mainly as an economic necessity. This argument notwithstanding, it was Washington's decision at the writing of his last will and testament in 1799 to free all those slaves which he held in his own right. Washington's will also reflected his concern for the financial welfare and educational support of his former charges. So we're going to begin with his will. In the name of God, amen. I, George Washington of Mount Vernon, a citizen of the United States, and lately president of the same, do make, ordain, and declare this instrument, which is written with my own hand, and every page thereof subscribed with my name, to be my last will and testament, revoking all others. Upon the decease of my wife, it is my will and desire that all the slaves which I hold in my own right shall receive their freedom. And whereas among those who will receive freedom according to this device, there may be some who from old age or bodily infirmities, and others who, on account of their infancy, that will be unable to support themselves. It is my will and desire that all who come under the first and second description shall be comfortably clothed and fed by my heirs while they live, and that such of the latter description as have no parents living, or if living are unable or unwilling to provide for them, shall be bound by the court until they shall arrive at the age of 25 years. And in cases where no record can be produced whereby their ages can be ascertained, the judgment of the court upon its own view of the subject shall be adequate and final. The Negroes thus bound are, by their masters or mistresses, to be taught to read and write, and to be brought up to some useful occupation agreeably to the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia, providing for the support of orphan and other poor children. And I do hereby expressly forbid the sale or transportation out of the said Commonwealth of any slave I may die possessed of, under any pretense whatsoever, And I do, moreover, most pointedly and most solemnly enjoin it upon my executors, hereafter named, or the survivors of them, to see that this clause respecting slaves and every part thereof be religiously fulfilled at the epoch at which it is directed to take place, without evasion, neglect, or delay, after the crops which may then be on the ground are harvested, particularly it as it respects the aged and infirm, seeing that a regular and permanent fund be established for their support, so long as there are subjects requiring it, not trusting to the uncertain provision to be made by individuals. And to my mulatto man William, calling himself William Lee, I give immediate freedom, or if he should prefer it, on account of the accidents which have befallen him, and which have rendered him incapable of walking or of any active employment, to remain in the situation he now is, it shall be optional in him to do so. In either case, however, I allow him an annuity of $30 during his natural life, which shall be independent of the victuals and clothes he has been accustomed to receive. If he chooses the last alternative, but in full with his freedom if he prefers the first. And this I give him as a testimony to my sense of his attachment to me and for his faithful services during the Revolutionary War. So that was George Washington's last will and testament, and also brings us to the end of today's video. So I'm going to end today's video asking the same three questions that I always ask. And the first is, why was this group targeted to be enslaved worldwide? And why were they made to continue to suffer? Why did the rest of the world accept this behavior? Governments, rulers, and religions. And why don't people realize the present day effects on these people? So with that, that brings us to the end of the video. And I would encourage you all to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also in the description below, click the link to the Harriet Tubman Ross Foundation, visit the website. But most importantly, I would ask you all, get involved and help Harriet achieve her dream. With that, I'll talk to you on the next video. Thanks and goodbye.